Right guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm just going to show you how to fit an 1140 cassette Shimano, obviously 11 speed, onto your road bike without using a roadlink on your derailleur. So I'll go ahead and we'll crack on with the steps. Right, so here we have the current setup. Now obviously it's using a 1132 rear cassette at the minute with a compact front chain set, and it's running, as you can see there, 105 Shimano rear derailleur, R7000. Obviously this is GS rear derailleur on it at the moment, so that's the current setup. Right, so the first step is obviously just remove your chain from your bike and then drop your back wheel out of the bike. Right, so once you remove your rear wheel from your bike, you can go ahead and remove obviously the cassette off the free up body, and then what we're going to do is replace it with that. So we go ahead and we get this cassette off, and we go ahead and get the 1140 on there. Right, so once you remove your cassette, your current cassette off of your free up body there, to fit the 1142 there, being as this a mountain bike cassette, then what you need to do on most wheels is get a spacer and put on. Otherwise you find you've got play in the cassette when it's fitted if you don't have the spacer on. If you fit this without a spacer, you could grab hold of the largest sprocket there and feel it moving like so. So you've got to put a spacer on and then go ahead and fit your cassette. Right, so once you got your 1140 cassette there put onto your free hub body, obviously check that there's no play in it before you go ahead and put it back on the bike. Right, so once you've got the wheel back in the bike, obviously we can go ahead and look at the derailleur and obviously the chain. So what you want to do is your old chain, obviously, that you removed will no longer be long enough to get up onto, so it's long enough round to be on the 40, obviously, because you need more links in your chain. So the best thing to do is buy yourself a new chain. Get yourself a new chain. So obviously if you're putting a new cassette on anyway, you want a new chain. So go ahead, get yourself a full length chain, Shimano chain there. And then what you want to do is we go ahead, get the chain on there, and then size it up so you can see roughly what size you need for your particular bike. Obviously they all vary because the size of the frame, chain stay, length, etc. Then you know your bike will be different. So I couldn't tell you how many links you need in yours. So I'll just go ahead quickly show you how to size it up so you can fit a new one on yourself. Right, so I've got the chain on there as you can see, but what you want to do is just put it on the easiest way, just to size it up if you've never done it before, and you want to know how to do it easily. Then just put it on the smallest at the front, whatever you've got. If it's a compact, obviously put it on the 34 at the front, and then put it on the smallest at the back, so the 11 at the back, like so. And now to size the chain up, obviously you don't want it so as the derailleur's about, you don't want it so obviously the chain is slack. Obviously if you got a lot of links in it and the chain is in that position and the chain's slack, got any slack in it like so, then obviously it needs tightening up a bit. And obviously the derailleur, you don't want it so it's bottoming out like so, there's no tension on the chain at all, and the derailleur will just sit there like so. But you don't want it like that, because obviously it's making contact, the chain's making contact under there, you're touching into the derailleur body under there, as you can see, up under here. So obviously you've got to tension it up a bit, and pull that away from there so you've got some tension on it, and then you're somewhere about right. You don't want it right down there when you're in the 11 and say the 34 at the front. That's no good like that, because by the time it moves up to the 40 at the back, still in the small at the front obviously, by the time it moves up the cassette at the back, then you're just going to be bright snapping the rear derailleur off. Obviously it's going to be right round, you know, somewhere ridiculous. So obviously you just want to take up some tension in it, and obviously just you could take out a link at a time or whatever, and just the best thing to do is get a quick link in it, because then you can just join it together, and obviously you can take it apart quickly as well if you ever want to swap it back again to a normal size cassette. You don't have to have it on there. So obviously you can just put it on there like so with a quick link, and then see if you need to take any more out. Make sure it's not making contact anywhere, obviously the chain or anything. Make sure it's got some tension in it, but you've got to allow for it to get all the way up to the 40 at the back. And obviously you wouldn't ever be riding in the 11 at the back and the 34 say at the front, because it's cross chaining too much. You would never be doing that. It's just to size the chain up. That's all it's for. So obviously you can do it. There's not much tension on the chain. If you got it right up there, the tension, if you got it up here, the chain, the tension on the rear derailleur is bent right round here, and you're trying to do it, and it's hard, you know, it makes it harder for you to do it. So if you've never done it before, just do it like that. Just take out a link at a time to make sure you're not going to take out too many if you're unsure. Then when you've got it like so and it's not hitting anything, obviously, then you're somewhere in the ballpark. That's just a quick way of sizing it up if you've never done it. Right, so once you're happy with the adjustment of the B screw, obviously the B screw is the one there. It's obviously a 2.5mm hex head to adjust it. So once you're happy that you've got room for the chain to pass through adequately there, I'll say you're still on the small chain ring at the front, what you can go ahead and do, like I say there, like that, is you can go ahead and just run through the gears. So we'll put that there like that, and then we just run through them quick. Obviously you won't come too far down the cassette because you'd be cross chaining, so we'll come down like that there. That's adequate. If you was in the small chain ring at the front, you wouldn't be cross chaining at that any further down than you will be, so even though it will go down that far, it makes no difference. So if you just put it somewhere there, and then you can change up to the front, to the large chain ring, like so. And you can just try it like that, see, make sure the gears are working, obviously, like so. That's the range about what you'll be using anyway in the largest chain ring. There you go. So there you have it installed anyway. So 1140 on the back. I've made no adjustments to the high or low screws or anything like that. All I've done is put it on like I showed, size the chain, adjust the B screw so you get some clearance between obviously top jockey wheel and the largest cog at the back, the 42 at the back, so as they're not interfering with one another and the chain can pass through. And then once you've done that, then it's all installed, it's ready to go. There's no need, we haven't used a road link, haven't put a road link in there as you can see. And the B screw has got some threads left on it, as you can see, but if you could get away with a 42 on the back, 1142 cassette, which is obviously just a little bit bigger, and you could put that on the back, on the rear. Say he's running a a single chainring at the front and you wanted a 42 at the back, you could fit it on there. But what you might need to do is get yourself a slightly longer B screw, that's all. So you just get yourself a slightly longer one like that, and then that'll allow you more threads so you can fit a 42 on the back. That's all you need to do. Right guys, there's the installation complete behind me as I showed in those steps. Very simple to do, and it's very useful to have a 40 cassette on the back. Say you was thinking of doing touring and loading the bike up with some panniers or a rack or something like that, or bike packing even, and you know you're going to be going hilly areas, and obviously with the extra weight on the bike it's nice to have the additional gears for the bigger hills. And also if say you're an older rider and you just fancy having the extra gears and you don't like the hills anymore, or your knees, you know, you like look after your knees or you know whatever, then that sort of setup there with a double on the front still and obviously the 40 on the back is would be spot on for that. Or you can go to a single chainring at the front with an 1140 or an 1142 at the back. But I say for if you're going to load the bike up for touring, then one of these, that sort of setup will be ideal for that. Obviously, like I showed, there's no road link in there. You're just adjusting the B screw, and obviously what you need to do is you can get yourself a slightly longer B screw if needed, if you want to run a 42 cassette on there, just to allow the extra threads on it, to allow you to go up to a 42 without running out of threads. And obviously, like I say, when you're fitting the 1140 cassette or 42 on, remember it's a mountain bike cassette, so what you'll need is to put the spacer behind the cassette before you put it on. Otherwise, you know, if you have a lot of play in the cassette itself, and you'll wonder what that is. So it's just because you need the spacer, so obviously the dimensions are slightly different. Yeah, so, and obviously size your chain, obviously get yourself a new chain. So, and it's easy to, like I say, it's easy conversion to do, and it's easy to swap back. All you've got to do is take the chain off, keep your old chain in your old cassette, what you had on there before, and say you wanted to use the bike normally again, you could just put your normal cassette straight back on there, and all you've got to do is put your chain on and then adjust the B screw the opposite way to get it back sized up again for whatever cassette you had on there previously. So there you go. Anyway, hope you liked the video. Remember to subscribe to the channel for more cycle related content. Till next one, ride safe and I'll see you then.